I had to laugh, Evie, because I'm so all right. You have broken my vow of silence, so I will now speak. Evie said he made his girl cry. Now he's very upset. She has a huge fear of me leaving her someday, so she'll often say, "Sir, please don't ever leave me." But I had to remind her that I can't be with her forever. Now, Evie, fill me in. Why can't you be with her forever? I guess you're not in a relationship with her, or what's the situation exactly? Let me know, Evie, because sounds upsetting. How did you feel about it? Hello, Skinner Farms. Kilroy, hello. He says, just found your channel a few days ago from the raw male attractive energy video. Changed my perspective and helped my confidence. Thank you. Amazing, Kilroy. I love to hear that. That is wonderful. And tell me more, like, how did it help your confidence and change your perspective? Like, what were you thinking? A1 Lowboy says, Beardo suggestions are working on my girl. Ooh, that's incredible. A1, which suggestions did he make? And what did you do? And I'll put his channel, because he wants to start a channel too. So this is his YouTube channel. If you guys want to subscribe and see if he posts any videos, Beardo Speaks YouTube. I put it in the chat. And I apologize because the other day, I don't know if any of you saw it, but I did a live with him because he wanted to do a live on his channel. So whatever. I misspelled Beardo Speaks, and I said Beard Speaks YouTube. Silly me. So Sam L. Williams says, what's the best way to tell if a rejection is her actually playing hard to get versus an actual rejection? Okay. Well, Sam, I mean, one easy way is just tell me the rejection you got, and then maybe it will be obvious, okay? It's possible that it could be a fine line, okay? It could be, especially if she's not being direct, if she's not being upfront, it could be a little hard to read. So hopefully it's not, but it definitely could be. But, if you let me know like the kind of things you're getting, I can tell you, oh, just give up or do not give up because it seems like she might actually just be busy or she's, you know, having some fears about dating or whatever. So, yeah, but I mean, it's never going to be a hard science unless you're some kind of human nature, people reading extraordinaire. Okay, we're all varying levels of that. So, Greg says, hi, Victoria. You've been busy lately. Have I, Greg? Or haven't I? Why do you say that? Probably because I haven't posted any videos. Angel says, should you approach a girl at her workplace? People have varying opinions on that. Some people would say, like, don't do it. And some people are fine with it. So, which one are you, Angel? I mean, I think it's fine. It's not illegal, probably. I don't know. Maybe it is nowadays. But yeah, what do you guys think? These workplace questions aren't my specialty because you know what my workplace was, right? So, but yeah, it's a great question, Angel. So, Adam says, Victoria, you should read the book Meta Horror by Hypnotica. Meta Horror, okay, I like it. What is it about? I like the title. Just like some kind of sex worker in the metaverse, or what's happening here? I'm trying to write it down. Meta Horror, okay. I'm writing it down, and I will look it up. Oh, great. It just auto-corrected it to something unrecognizable. Okay. Evie says, because of the socioeconomic differences between our families, she's the sweetest girl ever, but this factor prevents me from marrying her or being with her forever. Wow, Evie, this is kind of like straight out of Bridgerton or Pride and Prejudice or something. What is this, she's from a poor family and you're making 10,000 pounds a month or whatever it is in Pride and Prejudice. He takes 20,000 a month or something like that. Let me know, Evie. Interesting. But I mean, if that's the case, then better to be honest with her up front so she can make other plans. So Thunderbee says, when I think about ASMR, it is a form of closeness and intimacy that's not always accessible. Oh wow, Thunderbee, that's very interesting. I like that. So Evie says her family is kind of low class, whereas my family is in the upper class. There's no future with her, really. It's difficult to understand if you're American. Oh, wow, Evie, this is seriously, it sounds a little classist, am I right? But how, I don't understand. Why is there no future? It's just like, when Prince William married a commoner. Was Kate Middleton the commoner? I forgot. But it's interesting. Lady Luck. Phew, been a minute since I joined one of your lives, Victoria. Lady Luck, wow, amazing. I recognize your username. And now forgive me for this, Lady Luck. I'm assuming that you are one of the wonderful females, as we call them, who's joined my lives in the past, and there's very few of you. But just confirm because sometimes I've said that about somebody and they're like, I'm not a female. I'm like, oh no. Great. I've misgendered you. So let me know, Lady Luck. So uh-oh, I lost my place. Thunderbeast, my workplace protocol is very simple. Don't dip your pen in the company ink. Business and pleasure do not mix well. Don't dip your pen in the company ink. That sounds like very outdated in itself. I feel like they need to update the protocol, but so Jesus says, "Oh wow, you're on the verge of reaching 100K and getting your silver plaque." Jesus, I know. And that's actually one of the reasons I wanted to do a live tonight because I kind of wanted to think of a good giveaway or something. Like I've never done a giveaway, but I know people do them. But I was thinking maybe I could give away like 5 free calls. But then I was thinking, what would be a good way to decide? Like, should I have a lottery or should I just be like, whoever answers the questions on this quiz? Any ideas for what you guys would like as maybe just a giveaway? Um, just something I could like call you guys up on a live and just be like, "Hi, it's me." I don't know what would be good. What would you want? Let me know because I want to do something to just say thank you. Because I mean that is literally incredible. Literally, like I can still remember talking to my dad and we were like walking around on a tennis court, and he was just like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, think my YouTube channel is going well." I didn't even have 1,000 subscribers at that point. He was just kind of rolling his eyes like, right. And I'm like, no, I think like I've been getting a few more subscribers. I think it could be good. I think I can do it. Anyway, all this. And this is just absolutely insane. So PLN. Oh, my bad. That's your Polish currency. Box. Hello, Box. It was nice that you took part in your boyfriend's live. Let grandpa be happy. Yeah, I felt a little bad about the live because we kinda did it so spur of the moment, Box. So, I didn't wanna interfere with his live, but I didn't really know what he was doing with the live, so I just kinda stayed in the background because I didn't wanna, like, overstep on his live. But then maybe it seemed I was a little, like, disengaged and kind of annoyed or something. So, anyway, but yeah, I hope that I didn't not support him, but yeah, it was just a new kind of live format. So, but thank you so much, Box. And I saw you over there, and thank you for supporting him as well as me. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for your super chat. Now, are you Grandpa or is Beardo Grandpa? Oh, Lord. Thank you so much again, Box. Greg says, you're making a lot of videos. Am I, Greg? I'm doing a lot of lives, but am I making a lot of videos? Unfortunately, I'm not. So, Angel says, don't date peasants, Evie. Oh, is this a joke, Angel? It's hilarious. If it is, that's absolutely hilarious. Josh, the manga lad, says, hi, Victoria, how are you? Hello, Josh, the manga lad. Speaking of which, the manga lad, I got your email, but I believe I have not responded to your email yet, so welcome and hello. So, Lady Luck, yes, I am a woman. Haha. Okay, good, Lady Luck. Wonderful and welcome. And please feel free to share your opinions because we love two women in this chat, probably. Who knows? So, Axoner says men dislike women who don't understand them, and women dislike men who do. Do you agree with this statement? No, I do not, Axoner. I definitely agree with the first part. Men dislike women who don't understand them. But the second part is just, I mean, this is like a very mean-spirited thing. Women most definitely also do not like men who don't understand them. But I guess the implication is that, like, if a man understood the truth about women, then she would be like, "Ah, you got me and I don't like it." No, this just kind of discounts the existence of like female blind spots just equal to male blind spots. I mean, it almost implies, would you agree, Actoner, that kind of women dislike men who do understand them? No, that kind of almost implies like this nefarious knowledge on women's part. Like we understand that we're like evil and we don't want a guy to catch on to that. We don't want a guy to kind of like realize. I mean, is anyone else getting that vibe from this thing? I don't agree. If it said men dislike women who don't understand them and women dislike men who don't understand them. Boring, but well put. I mean, it's actually not well put because the whole thing is kind of stupid at that point, but I don't like that. But I could see how it's a very popular red pill sentiment because that's kind of like, I mean, it's the same thing with like feminist content a lot of time, which I watch a lot of. And a lot of women just really want to believe that there's no ignorance on men's part. There's no, fumbling around and trying to understand women. It's just that men know what they're doing and they're maliciously doing it. I mean, I don't agree with that. Men have a lot of blind spots, okay? So, yeah, they really want to like make someone the villain. It's not just that, you know, ignorance is kind of making problems for everyone. It's that there's like certain malicious actors who are villainously like doing things to hurt you. It's kind of like emotional reasoning, sadistic way. So, no, I don't like that at all. And I don't agree with it. What do you guys think? And Lady Luck, as a woman, what do you think as well? Now, I believe I got a super chat. Now, let me find that. Uh, oh no. Was a super chat. Oh, here we go. Cool. Thank you so much, Cool. So he goes, thank you for super chat. And he says, help. Girl messages me asking me to hang out. When I tell her my availability, she doesn't follow through. What is this mind game? I think she wants me to chase. All right, cool. Well, you need the help. So I'm glad you super chatted and thank you for that, but let's get into this. So, a girl messages you asking you to hang out. Things are going wonderfully. I tell her my availability. She doesn't follow through. What is this mind game? I think she wants me to chase. Okay. Here's the thing that you guys all got to know about women and what your red pill overlords, as I like to call them sometimes, just are not telling you. Okay. Girls do want you to chase. Okay. Because in a woman's mind, that is kind of like the masculine frame. Okay. It's not masculine in her mind if she has to pursue you. Like, have you seen all these videos on social media, cool, where it's like when men want women to make the first move, and then it will be like pictures of like a woman picking up like a huge guy and like cradling him like a baby, or getting down on one knee and proposing, or buying him like a huge bunch of flowers and being like, here you go. They feel like the man. That's basically saying, every time I have to pursue, every time I have to initiate, every time I have to chase, every time I have to escalate, I feel like I got a big dick between my legs, basically. Like, I feel like a man. I don't feel feminine. They don't like it. Okay, they really don't like it. So in this situation, it seemed like this girl was kind of being bold. And she's like, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. Oh, hell, I don't even care. I don't know. I'm just feeling crazy tonight. Something's gotten into me. Let me message him asking to hang out. Let me just take a wild chance, right? But then you take kind of this feminine role still. Because a lot of times, like, the dating advice for women is, okay, so he doesn't like message you first. He needs to like take the hint. They'll be like, men are dull. Men are kind of dim-witted, okay? And they need very clear, obvious signals. So if you have to, if you just smiling and acting feminine and acting flirty is not enough for him, and it's definitely not enough for some of you guys on this channel, because a lot of times you're telling me, oh, she was giving me, she was doing this, this, and this. Was she interested? And I'm like, but anyway, that's besides the point. So they might tell women, give him a hint, just jog his memory, just get him started. Like, I'm here and I'd like to hang out. From that point on, though, she does want you to be like, oh, she's interested. Let me pursue. I'm the man. She's showed that she's interested. Let me take the lead and let me pursue. Let me set up a date. However, what it seems like you did, cool, is you just said, you kind of probably took a more passive role, like, oh, yeah, I'm free on this day. You didn't say, I'm free on this day. Would you want to get dinner sometime? Or would you want to come over at like 7 p.m.? We could like watch this TV show, I've been wanting to see, or we could like go out and get like ice cream, or depending on where you live, or vegan ice cream, hopefully, but something like that. You want to come up with a little bit of a plan. So if she's not initiating and following through, that's normal. It's not a mind game. The fact that you're even thinking this is a mind game is a bad sign, because this is kind of like one of the most fundamental frames, if you will, for how women want men to act. You know about the female gaze, cool, right? If you've been on my lives before, which I don't know if you have because I haven't seen you before, but they want alpha in love, right? So what you're giving her is, do I dare say it? You're giving her hot Beto with his hands down his pants or something like that. Like, it's not giving, I will pursue what I want. I will go after what I want. Okay. So, yes, she does want you to chase. And chasing is not a bad thing. You don't have to take chasing to a desperate point where you seem desperate. You seem like you have no options. Okay. But another way of interpreting the word chase, which is what girls want, which is just simply, I have no problem pursuing and going after something or a woman that interests me. And if she isn't so sure about me, but I still want her, this is what my boyfriend would say to me. I'm sure enough for the both of us, and I'm not going to be deterred. I'm willing to play the long game. This is like a masculine attitude that women really resonate with, respect, crave, want. However, this attitude, which I feel most of the red pill channels tell guys, which is like, never chase a woman, never chase, you are the prize, don't lose your dignity, king, focus on your purpose, she doesn't want you, you're just going to look like creepy and desperate, you're going to get like rejected and look like a loser. I mean, they don't say these things, but it's kind of like the underlying message, it seems like. It's not masculine in a woman's mind. Because see, in a woman's mind, and remember, they've got their hyper masculinity goggles on, they see you as lazy. They see you as kind of like almost like gay. Like, sadly, they might assume, I don't understand. Or they see you as just kind of a boy, not a man, or a fuck boy. And hey, maybe sometimes that can work in your favor, right? But they don't like it. Okay. They don't love it. Now, if you're hot, they might, against their better interests, do it anyway. But they don't love it and they don't like it and they don't want it. So do with that information what you will. Okay. So does that make sense, cool? So never think of a girl wanting you to be how she sees it, the man, and chase or pursue as a game. Like, oh, I'm not willing to play these games. If you're not willing to play these games, you're not willing to play the game. You're not willing to play the dating game. You're not willing to look like a man in her eyes. I mean, you better be looks maxing hard. You better be working on your look because your game isn't really going to be working for you, if you will. So it sounds like you're already pretty good looking because she kind of wanted to hang out with you. But yeah, what do you think, cool? Cool says, God, I'm a passive bitch, lol. Well, cool. To her, that's kind of might, okay, I didn't see the exact text messages or anything, but it might be kind of what you're portraying, because it's just like, she's kind of just like, when is he gonna fucking ask me out? Like, can he just ask me out? Can he just be a man? Is he just gonna like suggest a date? Like, I already said I wanted to hang out, and he's just giving me nothing. I'm giving him 90%, and he's giving me 2. You know what I mean? So, do you get it, cool? Like, do you think this could be the situation, or what do you think? And Lady Luck, if you're still here, do you agree with me? Well, Lady Luck is saying the men who are high in masculine energy get a lot of women, more options, less commitment. We don't like the lack of commitment. That is just a side effect. Okay, yep. Along similar lines, but it might not be. So Lady Luck actually is, I'm looking for her comments, and she asked a question. And she said, I have a question for Victoria and all the guys in the chat. A little about men's nature. I love this, Lady Luck, because we got the perfect focus group for questions like this. Am I right? So she says, what causes a man to spread rumors about a woman? I have a cousin who spread 2 reputation-shattering rumors. Okay. I'm going to just straight up ask you guys, because why should I even take a crack at it when we got 124 or 123 minus Lady Luck? Real life men in the comments, what do you guys think? Let me just ask you all. Why would a guy spread rumors about a woman? Get back to Lady Luck in the comments. So, JA, hello, JA, and thank you so much for your super chat. Wonderful. Thank you. So, your question is it bad to feel the vortex with women who are taken? So, I really got to rewatch my vortex video because the way I was using the vortex, I believe, was kind of like the sexual attraction women feel with men that they're kind of like secretly hiding, right? So it's like they're getting turned on, they're feeling spontaneously aroused by something you're doing or being or the context or the scenario, and they just can't, they're basically getting wet, but on the surface, they're not going to say, young man, like, please, like, I'd like to let you know I'm feeling extremely horny right now. It would be too dangerous in a lot of situations. They don't, or they would feel, maybe like a slut, or their reputation might be at stake. There's a bunch of different reasons, right? So that's kind of what I'm talking about, I believe, when I'm talking about the vortex. But then you're saying, is it bad to feel the vortex with women who are taken? So is it kind of just like, is it bad to be turned on by women who are taken, or is it bad to flirt with women who are taken, or is it bad to have chemistry or sexual chemistry with women who are taken, or is it bad to even try to steal away a woman who is taken? So my answer to that is one, it is not okay. Well, it's definitely not bad, in my opinion, to feel turned on by a woman who is taken. It is definitely not even bad, in my opinion, to flirt with the woman who is taken. It's definitely not bad, in my opinion, to have even sexual chemistry with the woman who is taken. Now, is it bad to try to steal a woman away if she has a boyfriend? What do you guys think? Because I mean, you're not forcing her, right? Like it's kind of up to her. So it's kind of harmless if you just want to like put the offer out there, like, I could I could treat you better than your boyfriend. Is that wrong? And she could just say, no thanks, shut it down, how dare you? Or she could say, really? What would you do differently? I don't know. Is that unethical? What do you guys think? But did I understand your question well, JA, or let me know what you think. So, and thanks again for your super chat. Okay. So, Josh the Mangalad says, is it a good female gaze compliment to tell a girl she has high and prominent cheekbones? People often tell me that, okay? I mean, I don't know, but people have definitely told me that multiple times throughout my life. I don't think it's a very good female gaze compliment because it's like it's not it's definitely good as a compliment, right? But is it really a female gaze compliment? Like, is it really reaching that level? I don't really think so because I don't feel like high and prominent cheekbones necessarily have very like positive associations. Like, yeah, supposedly they're good, right? But at the same time, it's kind of could be like you could have like a bony, haughty face. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't necessarily make her feel like, oh, wow, I'm so flattered. I don't know. And she's probably heard it before if she does have them. Uh oh. My lights just turned off. So, yeah. What do you think? Like, I think you could do better, Josh the Mangalad. I think you do something that's a little more flattering and not just like sometimes people have told me like you have like very good bone structure or you have like elegant bone structure or something. I think that's like a better compliment even than just you have high cheekbones. If high cheekbones were more of like a thing, I think it could be better. So anyway, that's just my opinion. So cool. Super chatted me again. Thank you so much, cool. And he says, the thing is, even though there seems she wants me to take initiative, there's a tinge of disrespect, like a shit test or something, not replying. Okay, cool. Like, I understand what you're saying. Like, almost she should be polite. Like, even if you don't say the perfect female gaze thing, you don't do the perfect behavior that women would ideally want. I think you're saying, like, isn't it a bit disrespectful that she doesn't even respond anyway? And that she still might be playing kind of hard to get or like I'm not going to respond until you do it right. You come correct, you know? So is that kind of like a tinge of disrespect? Is it kind of like a shit test? Yes, okay. But I think that you need to and this is my opinion and I'm just going to truth bomb you real hard here. Cool. You need to get over this idea that there's going to be this perfect, submissive, male gaze woman who's just going to never test you, never expect you to do the right thing, and that she's just gonna, some virgin who's like very sexually aggressive and very like good at sex, but she's never had sex before and she's very like submissive and passive, but she also can like take the lead sexually and like all the things that guys want. This is perfect like male gaze woman, right? Just give it up. Give it up and just kind of accept that women are going to test you. I don't like the word test, but if you want to say it, they are going to maybe play hard to get or they are going to want to be pursued. And that's okay. And the sooner, in my opinion, you accept that masculine frame, the better. Like the sooner you just like get to the starting line of how women are kind of expecting guys to behave. All you guys who are just kind of like saying, "Oh, men are the prize." It's like you're not even at the starting line, guys. You're literally just wandering, lollygagging in the crowd, and like all the guys who have good game are like lined up at the starting line. They've already accepted this is going to be a competitive race. I'm going to have to take this kind of like harder masculine role. I'm going to have to put up with some flakiness, especially at the beginning. I'm going to have to put up with not being like validated. I'm going to have to give first. And I'm okay with that because trust me, for those guys, it all comes back around. Okay. The women are like very obsessed with those guys. But in the beginning, you're going to have to like just kind of give up this attitude of like, I shouldn't have to do anything. Women should just cater to me. And it's like, they, and it's disrespectful. And if they like put up any resistance or challenge, then I'm just going to like walk away with my head held high. Well, you'll be walking away right out of 97% of women's lives. I mean, it's really not so bad. Like, for example, my boyfriend, Beardo, he is a very good, what I call brat tamer. Okay. He's not worried about a shit test because he's always been very good about like, comebacks and whatnot, in my opinion. So like he's not worried of a challenge. He doesn't want it's just it's a more masculine attitude, in my opinion. And I want you guys to just embrace it and accept it. I know it kind of sucks. Okay. It kind of does. All right. It's like basically a woman accepting guys like thin women with large breasts. And you're like, well, I'm not, so, or whatever. And they're like, well, you'll get like a lot more guys that way. And you're just kind of like, well, that fucking sucks. They're shallow as fuck or whatever. Yeah, you can just like complain about it all you want. But in the end of the day, if you looks max as a woman, you're going to be, things are going to be going much more swimmingly. You know what I mean? And it's the same with guys. It's like, you can just accept like the masculine frame and women are going to like it. Whether it's kind of pleasant for you and everything you want, probably not. It kind of sucks. You got to sell out a little. It's like kind of just selling a piece of your soul, maybe it feels like even. But that's what works. That's what women like. And that's the way it's always been, pretty much. And it seems to be still like that. I don't know. Maybe in the future will change because there'll be like more equality or something. But, women are still attracted to this kind of thing. So, what do you think, cool? I would just kind of, sometimes I just see guys who are just too sensitive about like their dignity and their pride and feeling threatened if the woman isn't like exact acting, like a sex worker is paid to act, or your OnlyFans models are like pretending to act to like appease you guys. The male gaze pandering or whatever, but that's not real. That's a woman faking it for you because she knows you like it. And she knows no woman wants to do it for free. So she's gonna do it because she gets paid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cool. So what do you guys think? JA, thank you so much for your super chat again. He says, is it appropriate to shit test women? Okay, JA, please give me an example of this because I'd love to hear it. Like, what would be a male shit test for a woman? I'm very interested to hear that, JA. Thank you so much for your super chat. I'll be looking out for your follow up in the chat. Random stuff says, can a woman be sexually attracted to a physically unattractive man? Absolutely random stuff. Absolutely. However, does that mean you should like bet on it? Is it your best bet to be physically unattractive? No. Okay, your best bet if you want a lot of women to be sexually attracted to you is to try to become as physically attractive as possible, right? However, can a woman be sexually attracted to a physically unattractive man? Absolutely, she can, especially if he's behaving in the right way and has got good game. So it's absolutely possible. So, Meathead Rob, thank you so much for your super chat, Rob. And he says, talking to a girl online for weeks. She said yes to a date, but then something came up and won't give a clear alternate. She's very engaging / responsive, compliments my style / looks. Why can't I get her on a date? This is the question, Rob, that like everybody has been dealing with lately, it seems. And I wish I was personally dating now so I could tell, has something changed, or is this just like the normal stuff that I experienced as well when I was very actively dating? So I want you to just like, she just basically won't set an actual date. Um, okay. Well, first thing I can tell you to do is don't give up. Don't get frustrated. Don't say, well, then there's no hope. I'm out. Okay. She's very engaging and she's very responsive and she compliments your style and looks. Okay. So she obviously has some baseline interest in you. A good thing to do is just not get triggered, not get upset, not freak out, not go on some rant against women, or not that you would do that, Rob, but some guys do. And just keep in contact. Keep every now and again, like every couple days, every week, maybe every other week, be like, maybe send her a link or something of like something you guys talked about, or be like, oh, I was like thinking about you the other day because of this, or just make some conversation and then keep trying to ask her out, okay? Because clearly she seems there's something that came up, okay? We don't know what it is. Like maybe she started dating a different guy and there's like a weird situation going on, or maybe she suddenly got nervous about dating and meeting in person, or maybe, what else could have come up? Like she just got like really busy with work, or she has some weird situation. But by you just maintaining your cool, maintaining your calm, not saying, "Oh, it's over, it's done, it's hopeless, she's not into me." You just kind of staying in contact, not obsessively, not all the time, but just, once a week, every couple days, maybe even like once every 2 weeks, like just like I said, you are increasing her comfort level. And at some point, if you really like this girl and you think it's worth it, she's probably going to be like, okay, I feel more comfortable with this guy now, and I'm feeling lonely and bored. Fuck it. Let me go on an actual date with him. All right. So, I mean, people could do even more direct things sometimes, like just kind of be like, I feel like you're hesitant to meet up. Like, but I don't know. This can be more risky. And you can kind of be like, why? Like, I don't know like what the exact situation is. So I'm kind of like, it's kind of a little general, but that's kind of the basic idea, Rob. The most important thing is that you don't think, oh, now I've lost my dignity because she's not interested. You just kind of stay connected, stay in contact. She's in your little black book. You're dating other girls, but hey, you reach out every now and then. And then maybe one day she's just like, you know what? I've been talking to this guy for a while. I feel like we have good texting banter. Let me just meet him. I've got nothing better to do. That's kind of what you're hoping for, okay? And then once you meet in person, whole different story, okay? Because now she's going to feel your energy. She's going to feel, oh, I like this guy. He's really attractive, or he's really cool, and we have so much in common. And then things will kind of shift a little bit. The balance will shift. But it can be very difficult to just get her on that first date. So be patient with that, and don't be too prickly. And it should work out for the best, Rob, especially when she's giving you these engaging, responsive signals like that. So, yeah, I mean, I always say that's how me and Beardo got together. I didn't want to see him again for a while, and he did exactly what I'm telling you, just kept his cool. And hey, one day I'm like, you know what, fine, let's just meet for lunch. Then we met for lunch. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot about this guy. This guy's like, I like this guy. So, what are you guys' thoughts? Okay, so then JA, thank you so much again for your super chat, JA. And he says, by shit test, I mean avoiding asking her out when having chemistry. Ugh, JA, I don't like it. I mean, maybe you guys can go to like some pickup channel and they will recommend a completely different strategy and you could try it. Personally, I just don't see like, so basically the shit test is you don't ask her out. I mean, how many guys have tried this and failed? I'm picturing like a graveyard of like men who've like tried this strategy. Like, well, let me just not ask her out. How does that work for you guys? Like, that's literally every single guy in my comments is just like, I've liked this girl and I've liked her for years and I've been thinking about asking her out for years. Should I ask her out? And it's just like, bro, it's been years. Like, how is this working? That you remaining completely passive and asking her out and then waiting for her to ask you out. I mean, if you have 100 girls, how many girls are going to do it? 5, depending on, how you met and the chemistry. Yeah, I mean, I think that it also depends on that. Like if you kind of met in person first and she really liked you a lot and she's like really attracted to you, she might, if she is also like an aggressive, sexually confident person, ask you out. A lot of girls just won't. So you'll definitely be, you know, you won't be in their game, but you'll be narrowing your options for sure. I just don't like it, JA. I mean, how is it even a shit test, too? Like, mm, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I mean, I might be misunderstanding you, Jay, but asking her out versus not asking her out, what's better? And where has not asking a girl out gotten most guys? Am I missing something? Let me know, JA. So Meathead Rob says, thank you, Victoria, and thanks, guys. That actually confirmed my line of thinking. I really enjoy engaging with her online anyway, so I'll just keep doing my thing and keep my cool. Wonderful, Meathead Rob. Wonderful. Okay. And yeah, talk to other girls. Don't get fixated on her. Okay. But don't forget about her. Just reach out, send a text every now and then. Okay. But still be dating. Don't be like waiting for her in the friend zone or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of a difference. It's not like she's friend zoning you because you don't have to like be doing all the stuff for her, acting like a friend, but it's just every now and then. Does it cost you that much? Just be like thinking of you and doing a little chatting. And it's funny. I actually heard a really good line for getting out of the friend zone today on a podcast. And this girl was calling in with this dilemma that she had with the guy. And basically, he had said to her, she was like, oh, well, they had hooked up or something. And then she was like, well, I just want to be friends. And he goes, I'm sorry. I I wish I could, but I can't. I'm just way too attracted to you to just be friends with you. I'm like, brilliant, evil brilliant, because you're flattering her so much, but because that's kind of like almost like a rom-com line, like I can't be just friends with you. Like my passion is too great. Like you're too beautiful. Like there's no way I could just be friends with you. So it's like friendly, but it's flattering and straight up genius in my opinion. I'm like, God, that was good. So that's a perfect line to get out of the friend zone if you ever need to. The girl's like, how about we just be friends? And you're just like, I wish I could, but I'm just way too attracted to you to just be friends with you, to only be friends with you. I can't do it. And you could still be friendly after that, but you don't have to be her friend. Like she's just loading you up with her laundry or whatever, like in that way. So but Skylar says, oh, I'm too attracted to you to just be friends with you. I don't like necessarily the way you phrase that, Skylar. I liked how I phrased it better, but it's kind of like, I'm sorry. Like, I really wish, like, trust me. I wish I could be friends with you, but I can't. You're just way too attractive for me to be friends with you. And I just don't trust myself, like, around you or something like that. I mean, that's very rom-com. I mean, that might be a little verging on creepy, but it depends. That's kind of the basic idea. Is like, I'm just, you're too beautiful. Like, I just could never be, I can't do it. Jimmy Dare. Hello, Jimmy Dare. Thank you so much for your super chat. And it's great to see you. And he says, here's hoping for one of your famous truth bombs. Keep up the good work, Victoria. Okay, Jimmy Dare, you asked for it. You're asking me to enter a period of no holds barred truth bombs only. Okay, Jimmy Dare. For $5, I will definitely give you at least one no holds barred, Mean as fuck. Truth bomb, okay? Brutal, sparing nobody's feelings. Who wants the truth bomb? And Jimmy Dare, if you want the truth bomb, give me a question and I'll truth bomb you. So, yeah, and thanks again so much for your super chat, Jimmy Dare. Well, then Phoenix6056 says, how do you bring up being friends with benefits with a girl I don't want to be in a relationship with? That's funny. The thing I was just talking to me about that line from the podcast, that's actually what he ended up getting because she was like, oh, how about we just be friends? And he was like, I'm way too attracted to you to just be friends. And she was like, okay, well, maybe like friends with benefits. And he was like, yeah, perfect. And everyone on the podcast was laughing, like, oh my God, that guy secured friends with benefits, like, perfect. So you could try that. Hello, Zarif. Oh, wow. Adrian, thank you so much for your super chat. And he says, I'm texting this woman twice a week. I'm unsure if her response is politeness or genuine interest. We're in the same class, but I'm awkward to talk to her. Okay, Adrian. So you don't know if her response is politeness or genuine interest. And we're in the same class, but you don't talk to her in class. Like you're kind of more just, well, it seems like you're kind of getting a vibe that it might just be politeness. So it might just be like your conversation is kind of boring or you're not really like speaking to her. Like, are you talking about like her interests or asking questions about her or doing any kind of like complimenting subtly or a little bit of humor or teasing her or flirting or any things that women could kind of be like, okay, this is kind of fun talking to this guy. Um, and then, could you guys meet up? Like, have you ever tried to do that? Like, hey, would you want to study together? Um, like after class, like for this big test we have, and kind of just try to like, because yeah, you said you're like awkward to talk to her in person. Well, Adrian, like, all right, should I give you the truth bomb, Adrian? Okay, Adrian, there's no way out. Like, there's no way out. You have to basically improve your social skills or just fake it till you make it with the confidence to talk to her in person. Because if you can't talk to her in person, like, how are you going to have sex? Like, how's anything going to go down? Like, I mean, you just said you're awkward, so it's not like you're severely awkward. I'm kind of reading into that. But yeah, I mean, you, if her response just sounds like overly polite, it's probably not a good sign. Like you gotta either meet up in person after class, you gotta like spice up, and I say spice up, that doesn't mean make it like sexual, but with the things I mentioned previously, the texting so that you guys get to know each other better and kind of form like a deeper kind of emotional and flirtatious chemistry. You got to talk to her in class as well. And then you got to have some kind of end goal. Like if you want a date or something, like you got to ask her on a date, or at least, ask her to study in person and then kind of work up to a more formal date or whatever. Or it doesn't even have to be a formal date, but you got to start increasing the connection through meetups in person, basically. So I don't know, Adrian. Tell me more about the situation because then we can get more into detail. Like, what does she say that just sounds like politeness versus genuine interest? I mean, yeah. What do you think, Adrian? And what do you guys think in the chat for Adrian? What's your advice to him? Another thing you can do, Adrian, which I've been saying to guys a lot, but just really try to work on your looks maxing, okay? And I'm not saying you haven't. Like, maybe you're already like really good looking, but that could really start increasing the chemistry as well if you just start like tweaking and really getting into your look. I think that'd be a really good thing as well in this situation. Like, getting the right haircut, the right style, the right facial hair if you have any. Maybe even like colored contacts or what else could you do? Skincare, teeth whitening. I mean, you're probably pretty young, so probably none of this stuff is really like too relevant at this point. But working out at the gym, wearing like cooler clothes, just really, really getting into it because this could help. This could help you out. Ja, thank you so much, Ja. He says, "What's the number one Riz tip? Number one." That's a great question. Uh, let me think. The number one Riz tip for being good with women. I'm going through a couple in my head that might be good. Um, I guess I'm gonna have to just go all black pill on you guys and just say the number one Riz tip is looks maxing. That's like the basis. Uh, After that, though, let's give another one. The number two Riz tip. Honestly, in my opinion, I don't know if I'm gonna put this at number two, but what I want you guys all to understand, which I think will just help a lot, is am I gonna go for that one? Understanding common female fantasies. All right, I'm gonna go with that. Understanding common female fantasies. I mean, that's fucking brilliant. I don't see any guys who are doing that. Okay. Do you guys know about DDLG? Can you do DDLG? Do you know about, brat taming? Do you know about CNC? Do you know about discipline? Do you know about these like fighting fantasies or about pet play? Do you know about like sex outdoors? Like just common kinks, fantasies, storylines. God, if a guy knew that, he understands the female gaze better than most women. So I'm gonna go with that. Um, it might not be like directly applicable to you know when you first meet, but that's like the ultimate riz. It really is. Like if you could do that, women need you. They crave you. They can't get you anywhere else. So I say it's a pretty solid number two riz tip. Lady Luck says, "Become a man worthy of respect." That's the number one riz tip. Lady Luck, I think you might have outdone me with that one. I mean, that's a wonderful contender for number one riz tip. I I'd probably give that to you, Lady Luck, for sure. Um, that's a very female gaze riz tip, and that's kind of the essence of the female gaze in a way. It's like the women have to think you're I don't want to say better than them, but they have to think that you're so good that you're worthy of respect. Okay. So, yeah, that's huge. That's a huge, huge aspect to the female gaze. I agree, Lady Luck. Wonderfully said. B. Iron says, will you just admit that height is the number one factor as a man and that his face and body don't matter? I mean, honestly, B. Irons, I don't know which is more powerful because I agree. Heightism among women is huge, right? Like they really discriminate. They're very heightist. Like it's bad. Okay. But the face is very important as a man too. Okay. But I guess it kind of like depends. Like let's say you're under like 4 feet tall then or something. Obvious that's gonna be that's probably gonna be the biggest factor. That's probably gonna be the number one factor. Now if you're like 5'2", it'll probably be the biggest factor. Now if you're like 5'6", will your face matter more or your height matter more? It's gonna be a lot more tough to decide at that point, right? Shalom sources. If you have face girls like, you're killing the game. I have to agree. Shalom sources. Yes, you're very, very lucky if you got that face. Random stuff says looks maxing versus emotional connection. Which wins? Okay, well, I think it's like, in my opinion, it depends. Okay, it's like if you just look good and then like you're at a club, girls are going to see the guy who looks good and be like interested, right? But if you're not at a club and let's say you're in school together and there's a hot guy versus a guy who's somehow able to develop like some kind of emotional and flirtatious connection, pretty much, in my opinion, that guy will do better. But who's going to do better for just like having casual sex? Probably the looks maxing guy. The emotional connection guy is going to take like a longer time to develop that connection, develop trust, and it will kind of be more for her about both the emotional connection and the sex. Whereas a guy who's just looking like a male model, women will see him and be like, oh, he looks like a fun person to have sex with. Like this will be kind of almost entertaining to go home with this guy. Why not? Out of all these guys, why not him? Not every woman is like that, okay? But some women are very big on just looks. And some women are more big on, like, for example, when I would go out to a club, I did like good looking guys, right? But I liked guys, I didn't like a guy who looked like a male model. I liked a guy who was kind of projecting more masculinity and confidence, kind of. So, yeah, different women, I think they will be influenced more strongly by looks because, like, I always tell you guys, like, my friend who would always go clubbing with, she was obsessed with just looks alone. Skylar114 says, actually, clubs are like the one place I don't get. What do people say since you can't really hear each other anyways? Well, that's kind of why people like him because it's not necessarily about conversation, it's more about like body language and sexual chemistry and kind of physical chemistry and feeling desired and chosen and, you know, kind of like your sex appeal, basically. So, and it's kind of about getting drunk and letting loose and letting your kind of sexual side come out, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's not about the conversation, that's for sure. Because, yeah, you can't hear anyone, and they probably do that on purpose. Boyd, what are your thoughts on him? I actually just read this book that was talking about him, and it was scary because I'm like, everything this guy was saying in his manifesto, I get like every day in the comments section on my channel. I'm like, trust me, I'm very familiar with this argument. So it was scary, very scary. What do you think of him? Nicholas Perez says, I'm 5'4" or 5'5". Is it over for me? No, it is not over for you, Nicholas. But, you know, it's a disadvantage for, many women who are taller than that for sure and just in general, but it's definitely not over for you. Everybody has disadvantages, some greater than others, right? But that's not it. Like you got to find a way to get around that. You got to like max out on your looks or your game or your status or something like that, but let's just say it would be easier for you if you were 6'4" or 6'5", right? But you're not, so that's okay. Shalom Soares, how do you think Ted Bundy would do nowadays? Yeah, he was also in this book. I mean, sadly, probably he'd do really well, okay? Because that guy was just picking up women like crazy. Scary as fuck. Why do you ask, Shalom Soares? Nunya says, I'm 5'8", and most women are attracted to me because I look masculine despite being short. They care more about your face and shape of your body than your height. Yeah, I mean, face and shape of your body is very important. And also, 5'8", you're not really that short at that point. Almost no women are 5'8". It's rare. You're considered tall as a woman when you're 5'7". I mean, yeah, obviously there's women over 5'8". Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying the average height for a woman, I believe it's 5'4". So most women are going to be shorter than you. So that will be okay for them. Box Lux 6 says, looks like she just got 100K subs. Did I? Let me check that out. What? Oh my god. It happened. That is literally insane, guys. Ah! Oh, what? No! That's literally crazy, people. That's insane. Ah, you guys are. Thank you guys so much for saying congratulations and celebrating with me. I honestly don't feel I deserve that. at all. Is literally insane. I almost feel like somebody on YouTube is, like, looking out for me. Like, there's what like, one of my followers is, like, in charge of the algorithm or something, and he's just, like, for some reason, like, maybe he tried out a tip, and it worked on a girl or something, and he's like, I owe her." So, I don't know because I literally almost did nothing, and that's absolutely incredible. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I feel like I'm at the Oscars giving, like, my Oscar speech. You guys are awesome. I really enjoy this, especially the lives and just hanging out with you guys. You guys and I wish we could all just kinda maybe have a in-person kind of meet up or something. That'd be really cool. Joseph Omega, thank you so much. I really appreciate you for giving me that super chat. And yeah, I want to do something to give back to you guys. That's kind of what I was saying in the beginning of this live that I was trying to think. What would be good? Like, should I just give away like 10 free calls? Or should I just call you guys up like right now and be like, hey, it's me. Like, ask me one question. Here's your answer. Should I truth bomb you? I don't know. What do you guys want? Should I give away like my favorite books on dating? Should I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, what would you want? Let me ask you. And then if nobody tells me, I'll just choose one. So, who's this? Meathead Rob. Thank you so much, Meathead Rob. He says, you deserve it. You know what it is. You offer insightful dating analysis that differs from most of what's out there. Deep, different perspective. Thank you, Meathead Rob. That's extremely nice. Very nice. Very kind, very generous, both financially and verbally. Really appreciate it, Meathead Rob. So, Ronnie votes for truth bombs. Michelle, hello, Michelle. She votes for truth bombs. Cyber Elias is 5 free calls. Okay. Do a massive Zoom call. Okay. NSVO, that is so nice. Couldn't have happened to a more deserving person. Thanks for always putting in the time. Oh, wow. NSVO, thank you so much. That is so nice. Nanya says, you're looking really beautiful tonight, my Nala. Tell Biro he needs to be on his best behavior. Let me actually screenshot that and tell him that because that would be good, right? And thank you so much. I'm literally taking a picture right now of your comment to tell him. Okay. Lady Luck says 10 free calls, please. Oh, Lady Luck, that would be amazing. I'd love to do calls with women. Josh the Mangala says, no in-person meetup is a horrible idea, Vic. Do not do that. Why, Josh? Would people like try to like take some like really unflattering photo of me and like post it online and be like, update for Life's Victoria, you look so hot when you're confident telling the bomb truth. Haha. Thank you, Updated for Life. Thank you very much. So then Pildora, are you a woman by chance, Pildora, or is this just a name? You should make a special episode with Sterling Cooper to celebrate. Oh, wow. Like, what kind of episode? Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Wonderful ideas. And then Jay Pinto wants to see Beardo fight Mohammed to celebrate. Okay. Omar says, offer a voice note answer to voice note questions, or like, okay. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, yeah. I've seen people do that. It's really good. Like people send in a voice note and then you answer the voice notes on a video. That's a great idea. And then let's see. Floyd Runner says quiz. A quiz to celebrate? Oh, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Ddlg says, are you gonna post this video for people to watch later? Yeah, sure, I will. Sure. And then NSVO says, write us a book. Oh my god. Okay. And then Oz says live calls. Josh the Mangalist is free calls. Michelle, oh, I already read that one. 30 truth bombs. Ah, thanks, Cyber LA. And Shalom sources tell B Irons just because he's at 6'8" doesn't mean it's over for him. B Irons, he's right. 6'8", I think that's pretty. I actually dated a guy once who was 6'8", okay? I was curious because he was 6'8" and 6'8" alone. So I'm not saying 6'8" doesn't help, doesn't hurt, but you don't have to be 6'8". Shalom source is right. Listen to him. Okay, Funfield says, wow, guys, this is super wholesome. This is pretty awesome. Oh, thanks, Funfields. You're funny. Daryl says, hi, Victoria. I've enjoyed getting to know you on this video. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you very much. That honestly means a lot to me. So you've hit my number one insecurity there in a good way. So I appreciate that, Daryl. Then buy Beardo. Banter says buy Beardo a Gandalf out. That's great. Oh, you're funny. So then she just get the Midnight Spirit. Your channel is great. You explain very well. Thank you, the Midnight Spirit. You asked a great question, Johannes. I'm gonna think about that. I mean, it's a complicated question what you're saying, Johannes, in a sense, so I wanna, but okay, so cases, I saw you were live, so just came to write this, found your channel a week ago and watched like 20 of your vids. All I can say is that there's 10% truth and 90% BS, and it's funny to me how these simps eat it up. So what's the 90% BS, Kay? Let's hash it out together. What's the 10% truth and what's the 90% BS? So, Tavi, thank you so much. Fun Feels is feeling a bit insecure. Okay, I understand. We don't need to be all hatist on this. We already know. So, all right, guys. Okay, all right. I'm gonna think about the prize. I'm gonna think about the giveaway. I'm definitely gonna do something. Maybe it could be like a combo of what you guys suggested. So yeah. All right, guys. Thank you. So I'll think about that. Michelle Liu, you are too kind, Michelle. Very kind. I can't even read that one aloud, Michelle. B Iron says, life as an average male is hell. I agree. B Irons. It kind of seems like hell. It would be hell for me too. Okay. If I don't have sex regularly, it's hell. So yeah. I understand why it's hell. And it's very competitive. Yeah, everybody knows straight males, they don't have it easy. They don't have it like straight women. They don't have it like gay men. They got a whole different kettle of fish there. So another non-vegan metaphor. But so Kay says you are right about the primal female wants, but everything else is just revolving around raising the female ego and giving them attention. I will clarify in my next comment. Please do. So James Francis, congrats on 100K. Thank you so much, James Francis. B Iron says, yes, I will get height surgery. I decided already. No, B Irons, don't freaking do that. Please, no, B Irons. Please, anything but that. That's the most horrific surgery, it seems like. They gotta, like, break your legs and stretch them as like a medieval torture device, right? Please be honest. That's not gonna make the biggest difference, right? Height, no. Well, first of all, be honest, how tall are you? It sounds horrible, but please don't get the height surgery no matter what. Like, surgery, it can have horrible complications. Like, you just can't even imagine. Like, they could cut nerves. You could have to be, like, having nerve pain for the rest of your life. Like, it's really no joke. Like, I got surgery this year, well, multiple times. Okay, but there was I'm, like, feeling like an idiot for doing it. I'm like, just don't get surgery if you don't need it. Like, ugh, you don't even wanna know. So, John Paradise says, "A kettle of tofu." I like that, John Paradise. Louise says, "I like a fellow coworker who is taller than me. She is gorgeous. I feel emasculated when around her. What do you suggest to get rid of this feeling and put me in a position of being attractive?" So, Luis, okay. First of all, this tall coworker, she might have her heart just set on only dating guys who are taller than her. Okay. That might just be on her. She might just be heightest as fuck and just feel that she needs someone taller than her to feel feminine, to feel small, to feel attractive. Okay. She might not. She definitely might not. It could go either way, okay? She could be someone who appreciates a guy who isn't threatened by her height, who isn't emasculated by her height, who basically is confident enough in his masculinity to feel like just because a woman is taller than me does not mean she's stronger than me, does not mean I can't make her feel like a woman, does not mean I can't make her feel like a little girl around me. Like, when I was a stripper, I was always worried about that because I'm pretty tall, okay, and then I'm wearing like 8-inch heels. So I was basically like 6'2", and then I was kind of worried, should I not wear these 8-inch heels because I'm taller than every single guy? Will they feel like emasculated? But they just didn't care, and that was attractive to me because I'm like, okay, I can be like a tall, statuesque woman, and these guys, they don't seem to like care. They're not threatened, and they still think it's hot. So that's kind of the attitude you wanna have of, like, "I don't fucking care if you're taller than me. I can still I can still put you in the feminine role. I can still make you feel small. I can still make you feel feminine. I can feel making you feel submissive. Like, you don't scare me, you don't threaten me. And in fact, I love strong women. I love tall women because I like a challenge, and I know that I'm kinda man enough for the both of us." Alright, like, when I met Beardo, that's actually what he had in his profile. He was just like, "I like strong women, I like tall women," and I really liked that, and I found that really attractive about him because I'm like, "Good," because that's kind of a sign of masculinity, because it's like he's saying basically, "I'm not threatened by any woman. If she's taller than me, if she's stronger than me, I'm still gonna be the man. I'm still man enough." That's very attractive because 'cause you're like, "I respect that. I respect that confidence." You know what I mean? And, Michelle, if you're in the chat, or Lady Luck, if you're still in the chat, do you agree? What do you think? That's the attitude that women like to hear. It's like, this guy is gonna take care of me, he's gonna protect me, he's gonna stick up for me, and he's sure, he doesn't even need to be tall. It doesn't bother him, it doesn't get him down. He doesn't feel he needs to rely on that like a crutch. He relies on the raw, attractive masculine power from within. That's kinda how girls are thinking about it, at least. So, yeah, Luis, don't let this emasculate you because, maybe she's just never gonna be into you because she is only like the tall guys, right? Maybe she will be. You really don't know. It could go either way. So then Jose Rios, thank you so much, Jose. And he says, My female roommate always asks for my help. She obeys my commands and asks me for approval. I tell her good girl and little girl. My girlfriend also lives with us. What the fuck is this erotic story here, Jose? This is funny. Oh man. I don't even know if you're trolling me. Is this some kind of like female fantasy? I don't know. Do you think she likes me? Okay, first of all, if this is really real and you're basically doming your female roommate and she's obeying your commands, asking you for approval, and you're telling her good girl and calling her little girl all the time, you're basically, you know, Ddlging her or just straight up doming her. Do you think she likes me? I think she's probably, if this is real, sexually attracted to you at this point. That's why she's acting all submissive. You know what I'm saying? Because you start like doming her basically. So she feels submissive. Now, your girlfriend also lives with you. What the hell? Are you kidding with me, Jose? Oh, sorry, Jose. My problem. My my mistake. Um yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what you're going to do in this situation, Jose, cuz like is your girlfriend getting jealous? Uh, is your girlfriend picking up on the fact that the female roommate is like obsessed? Is the girlfriend picking up on the fact that you're doming your female roommate? I don't know. This is crazy, Jose. But I mean, I guess seemingly a good situation to be in. So, thanks again for your entertaining comment and very generous super chat, Jose. What? What's the deal with this? So, yeah, so John Piero Pellino says, "Hey Victoria, I appreciate your advice. Is it ethical to only want sex from a girl? Because you're obviously not going to say to a girl, I don't like you, but you're hot, so I want sex." Okay, so okay. I mean, it's definitely not ethical to lie to her. Okay, but is it unethical to just not say anything and have sex knowing that you don't like her and you just want sex? I mean, people do it. People do it all the time. They just, act interested, they hook up, they have sex, maybe the girl wants more. And then the guy says, "Oh, I just, I'm not interested in anything at the time. Like, I'm just really busy with work. I just got a lot going on." Like, or even they're more blunt, like, to be honest with you, like, I'm just not looking for a relationship right now, or you're just not, I don't feel the spark with you. Like, they say all kinds of stuff like this. Is that ethical? I guess. I mean, people, that's how people do it. Would there be a more ethical way? Probably, but I honestly am not exactly sure, especially in this situation. Because, like, if you just say to someone straight up, like, "I don't like you, but I wanna fuck you," I mean, I guess you could. Probably a lot of girls are gonna be insulted and be like, "Well, fuck you," or whatever. But, you know, most people, they just don't say this. They leave it out. And I mean, maybe you don't have to say, "I don't like you." You could try to appreciate stuff you do like about her and just have, like, a positive, generous attitude when you're with her. But yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I think, like, women, they kinda know there's no guarantees in the beginning, and if they don't feel comfortable with that, often they will say, I don't have sex before a relationship, or I don't have sex until I feel comfortable. I like to take it really slow, or they'll kind of advocate for their needs. But if they don't and you don't say anything, is that unethical? What do you guys think? All I know is that's how people do it. That's how it happens. Personally, I just kind of accepted, like, okay, he doesn't want more. And that's got to be okay. But I mean, I like where the question is coming from, Jean Pierre, because I like that you guys are, worried about that and looking out for the girls and thinking about it. So I appreciate that. I really do. And I think it's a good question. I just don't I haven't like sorted out in my mind. Like, I don't know if it's unethical. I definitely think it's unethical to straight up lie to the girl. But if she doesn't ask and you're not totally forthcoming. I mean, you're not totally forthcoming about every single thing you think about the girl. Like, so I don't know. And people have like so many different attitudes when it comes to sex. Like, some people are okay with this. Some people, they'll be heartbroken and crushed. Like, is it your job to just figure that out? Or is it up to her to just be like, this isn't right for me. I'm not going to do it if she's not okay with it. What do you guys think? I mean, I don't know too much about the science of ethics or whatever, like the ethicist would say. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right, Kay, I'm looking for the rest of your uh your truth bomb on me. All right, let's see. So he says, and let me con this and I'm out. You people need to start not giving a fuck about what women or anyone else want and need to work on yourself and do what makes you happy. Accept reality as it is. Okay, well, I definitely agree with that in one respect. I think that's one attitude you can take is it's almost kind of like the blue pill attitude. Like, I'm just going to be myself. I don't care about all these, you know, theories on dating and game. I'm just going to try to just be authentic, authenticity max, be myself. Don't care about what women want, what anyone else wants, just work on myself, be happy. And that's fair. Like, you can definitely do that. Okay. If being yourself and accepting yourself and not giving a fuck about what anyone else wants is not working for you, is not going well, and by not caring about what anyone else wants, you're just stuck feeling hopeless and depressed and never having sex, never having a girlfriend, never getting a date. At that point, would you agree, Kay, that maybe it's okay to start giving a fuck about what women want and maybe trying to offer them just a little of that? Like, I mean, are we really in disagreement about that? So I don't know why you think like 90% of what I say is BS. It seems like you're just taking an approach about like authenticity maxing, like just I'm just going to be myself. And for some people, that works really well. For some people, like for example, my boyfriend Beardo, it worked really well for him. He's just kind of like, I just am myself and I'm honest. And he kind of naturally had like good attitudes, kind of good masculine attitudes. Like, his dad was like very toxic, as I've told you guys in my opinion. And like his dad kind of gave him kind of like these masculine attitudes that really worked out for him in dating. Okay. But some people, their attitudes that they got growing up are taking them in the opposite direction. And they're just going way off the trail. And they're getting worse and worse results. So, you know what I mean, Gay? So, yeah. B Iron says, I want to know how a short guy can be dominant and confident. Well, a short guy can definitely be dominant and confident. Like, I have been telling you guys, I've been watching Kenneth Play's course Beyond Satisfied. He looks like he's actually pretty short. Okay. I'm not exactly sure how tall he is, but he definitely looks short. Okay. And he is dominant and confident. And he does a lot of video demonstrations of how to be dominant and confident. And well, I don't know about the confidence part. He doesn't actually work on that because it's more just sex skills. But he does do a video course on kind of like kink skills and how to be dominant. And I watched the first video and I'm like, well, he explained that really well. That was simple. That was good. Any guy could do that. A short guy could definitely do that. I mean, once you start getting to kink, people aren't going to care about short, in my opinion. At that point, it's just all bets are off. They're like, give me my kink. I don't care if it comes from a short guy, it comes from a fat guy. I don't care. If it comes from an old guy, just give me my freaking kink. So, yeah. Bjorn says, I just can't get over that if I was close to 7 feet tall, women would submit to me. Yeah. I mean, like, if you're like Andre the Giant, supposedly women really liked him, you know? I mean, it's always a fantasy, Bjorn. Like, it's always this fantasy that it's like, oh, but if I just was 7 feet tall, or if I just looked like Kate Upton or whatever, like, I'd never have to worry about any of this. I'd never have to feel insecure. I could just like relax. Life would be just be life on easy mode. You know what I'm saying? It's I think it's natural to have these like fantasies, but guess what? Everyone's doing it without that. Everybody's making it happen and they don't look like the most perfect human being to ever walk the face of the planet or the most dominant like giant to ever walk the face of the earth or whatever. Think about everyone else who doesn't have that and they're making it work. Beardo speaks. He says, shout out to my short kinks. Am I right, Beardo? Also, where are you, Beardo? And Beardo, guess what? I got 100K. Nothing says, yay, the machine is at it again, teaching us rusty skilled men how to love a woman. Oh, fuck yeah. That was an epic comment. Nothing. So, David T says, how long is too long to keep seeing a booty call who fell for me? She hasn't actually confessed, but the signals are clear. She's annoying sometimes and wants longer sub drop cuddle time all of a sudden. Okay, well, I mean, I think you could just have a talk with her. Like, listen, so and so, I've noticed that it seems like lately, maybe like you've been getting more emotionally attached to me. And I just kind of want to have like a little talk about this because like here's where I'm at. And I kind of want to keep this more like a friends with benefits thing. And I'm just feeling like uncomfortable that you want that it seems like you're kind of almost like falling in love and that you're kind of wanting more and I'm not. So I want to be like open and honest about it. And if you need to like move on and if you need to like do whatever you have to do, I really enjoy seeing you. I love having sex with you. You're amazing. But like I'm just not in a place right now where I want more. So I just want to be like completely open with you, completely honest. And yeah, like, what do you think about that? So you don't have to do it in like a mean way. You just have to kind of be like, you know what? Like, listen, I notice you've been getting more emotionally attached. Like, let's talk about that. That's a really respectful way of addressing it. And then if she's like, yeah, I don't know, I just started developing feelings for you. And you could just be like, I totally understand. Like it's natural. Like we've been doing all this like dom sub stuff and like it's kind of natural that you would kind of want more aftercare and cuddle time. But, where I'm at, I don't want to get too emotionally attached. So That's basically what you need to say. And she's like, "Oh, well, goodbye. I can't do this anymore." You just be like, "Okay, like, I'm really sorry, and I totally understand." You just gotta be kinda loving and stick up for what you want in a nice way. That's exactly what you need to do. She will respect that. She'll be like, "I respect that guy for being honest with me, and for not leading me on, and for not, like, kinda treating me badly." For sure. "Nothing. Thank you so much." And he says, "Fuck yeah. Tallness is integrity of manliness, not highness. You men out there, stop being anti-short manite. Have a backbone and you are tall." Wow, I like this. Tallness is a state of mind kind of idea and nothing. It's an integrity of manliness, not highness. You men out there, stop being anti-short manite. Have a backbone and you are tall. Well, I mean, yes, I know what you're saying, and I do agree with you in a sense. Okay, I don't want to like gaslight like the anti-short eye people, because like obviously like the discrimination is real, right? But at the same time, I do agree with what you're saying as well, that there's a way that women kind of see you as tall, even if you're not tall. Kind of like Beardo, like he was saying, short kings unite. Like he's not super tall, but I see him as like tall. You know what I mean? Like, he just basically gives me everything a tall guy could give me, like, plus more. So, yeah. Thank you so much. Nothing. That's really nice of you. And I like the pep talk for the anti-Shortmanites. B Irons, are you freaking kidding me? Are you really 6'2"? And you're worried about that? That's got to be a joke. Are you trolling me? Then Beardo Speak says, being short, poor, fat, skinny, dick, skinny dick, etc., are negatives, but you got to make your positives matter more. I look funny never kept me from getting busy. Ooh, I like that, Beardo. That's good. Very good. Very good. And also, skinny dick. Okay, women, they're not going to care about skinny dick, okay? They probably prefer, maybe, but they're not even really going to be thinking about it. Like, skinny dick. I mean, they'd have to have seen, like, 1,000 dicks to really like become kind of a connoisseur of dicks. I mean, at least 100. So, but I agree with the rest of that, Beardo, for sure. I look funny never kept me from getting busy. Yep, that's the homosexual creed out there, right? Ava says, do you think somewhat autistic Asperger's people can be successful in dating? I mean, have you seen like Love on the Spectrum, like Abby and David and everything? I've been seeing them all around TikTok. They're like adorable, right? But yeah, I mean, obviously they are. But if you've seen that show Love on the Spectrum, you know that they also have like a lot of challenges. We don't want to be all like toxically positive either, right? Like they have to learn some dating skills often, right? So yeah, but you can get like social skills coaching and date coaching, like so. I wouldn't worry too much about it, but yeah, it's probably also a challenge, that you have to overcome. So, how did Beardo put it? He said, they're negatives, but you got to make your positives matter more. Yeah, exactly. Well said, Weirdo. Like everybody has their negatives, but you got to make the positives matter more. Like you have to force your positives to matter more. CW says, you're spreading truth and you're beautiful. Your boyfriend is one lucky guy. Thanks, CW. And my boyfriend's on this live, so I hope he listens. You're nice, CW. I appreciate it. That's a really nice female gaze compliment. Abba says, thanks for show recommendation. Have you not seen it? Abba's is so good. Love on the Spectrum. It's like hilarious. It's amazing. And I guess they just released another season. And they've got like all different seasons, like from different countries. So Paul Kramer says, I wonder if dating is worth the effort. I think it is, Paul, but yeah, I know it's rough. So I know it's a lot of effort. So yeah, but I think it's worth it. What do you guys think? Carship, thank you for your videos. My pleasure, Carship, and thank you for saying that. Skylar114 says, women like thick, saying from personal experience. I think that if women experience thick, they'd be like, this is nice. But, for example, my last boyfriend, he actually had thin. Okay? And it's when you consider with like chemistry and your sexual chemistry and the sexual style and the person, it doesn't make a difference to her. Like, it's not like it's like, oh, if only it was thick. Like, oh, my pleasure would be so much greater if it was thick. Like, no. But if it is thick, it's definitely a positive, in my opinion. But I mean, you could have like incredible sex, great sexual chemistry, and your dick is thin, and they're not even thinking, oh, if only his dick wasn't so thin. Like, that won't even enter into their mind if the other stuff is good. So Tricky Beats says, looks maxing is a cope. You shouldn't waste your time. Why do you say that, Tricky Beats? John Paris says, is Beardo speaks the real Beardo? Yeah, it is. It's him. Okay, B Irons. I've been told by women that they don't feel safe with me and that there's no chemistry. Okay, well, they're giving you some good feedback. Okay, so we gotta like work on that, B Irons. I'm not trying to push it, but maybe you should get a consultation because we could go into why they don't feel safe with you and why there's no chemistry. Like, let's go through what you're doing. Let's go through how you're setting up a date. Let's go through what you're doing on a date. Let's go through your texting after the date. Let's go through how you're approaching women. All these things, you could be making some mistakes where they don't feel safe with you and you're not building chemistry. So it might be a pretty easy fix, okay? I'm not saying it's going to be insanely easy, but for some people it might be. Just a little tweak here and there. So Beardo Speaks says, Beardo knows he's the luckiest guy in the world. Oh my gosh, you're nice. Bjorn says, I suspect my height is a factor, Victoria. I was the assumption that my height is the reason they didn't feel safe. No, that's not it. The height, you could make a girl feel safe at 5'2". You could make a girl feel safe at 4'10". Okay, you got to have like the female gaze on right for that. If they don't feel safe, if a girl is saying, you don't make me feel safe, that's probably more your attitudes and how you're texting her, or how you're approaching her, or how you're kind of like being kind of like defensive or combative, or kind of talking about like hating women or something like that is what a girl will say. You don't make me feel safe. It's like almost like you're like an unpredictable man who might snap. That's kind of what women say when they say, I don't feel safe. But making a girl feel safe, like if you slept with a girl and she's in bed and she's like, oh, you make me feel so safe. A guy of any height can do that because that's more of an emotional safety she's talking about. Not like, I don't feel safe with a guy who is too small to physically fight me off. No. When girls say, you make me feel safe, that's like, you basically make me feel like I'm feminine. you put me in kind of you make me feel like submissive. You make me feel accepted. You make me feel loved. You make me feel cared about while at the same time being kind of like the strong, masculine, like rock. Okay, you don't need height for any of that. So that's what they mean by safe. But if you're making it feel unsafe, they mean this guy kind of like wouldn't back off. This guy didn't take rejection well. This guy couldn't read my body language. This guy didn't take no for an answer. That's the kind of thing. Lady Luck says, "Can we please move on from height, lol?" Okay, Lady Luck, why don't you ask another question you have about the male gaze and something you've always been confused about, like about men, because then maybe all these guys can answer that for you, and that'll be more interesting as well for me. So, um, or tell them, you know, make another comment and we'll read it. So Jim won't shut up once says, you make her feel safe by being a calm leader and making the decisions in a respectful, confident way. That could definitely make her feel safe for sure. Nicholas Houseman, I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying, so yeah. Bjorn says it feels hopeless for me. It, yeah, I mean, you need some new information, new, fresh look because, like, what you're doing, I guess it isn't working. So. I want to give a shout out to my male gaze coach because I've been learning so much from him. He's this guy where on one of my lives, I guess luckily he happened to be watching, and I said I'm looking for a male gaze coach. He was the only one who wrote to me, okay, and he was like, I'll be your male gaze coach." Basically, I'm like, okay, and we've met basically every single week, and he's literally blown my mind about the male gaze, and it's been so helpful. So shout out to him. And shout out to Beardo Speaks as well, my other male gaze coach. And shout out to JG, who's also my male gaze coach in a way. And shout out to Nani, who's not on this, but he's also been my male gaze coach of lately. I just ask him some questions like, why are you guys doing this? And he's male gazing for me too. So Tricky Beat says, I don't know if I'll get banned for saying what I want to say. If it's really, really mean about me as a person, like insulting like my appearance or something like that, then you might get banned. Anything else, I'm not gonna ban you. Unless it's like horribly, anti-Semitic or racist or anything like that. But hopefully that's not what it's gonna be. But it's just a controversial opinion, you could say it. Beardo Speaks, it says your message was retracted. So can you just text me that? Because I want to know what it was. Tricky Beat says most guys in here won't pull because they're not Chad. I mean, I don't think that's very controversial. I mean, kind of a circular argument, isn't it? Because it's like Chad is like defined as a guy who will pull. So Kyle says, since when did you start doing these lives so frequently? Probably since Beardo started going out, and I got bored. So David T says, "What are some good ideas of how to reward submissives?" I definitely could go into that, David T, in a consultation because I just went into in a consultation how to punish submissives. Jim won't shut up. One says, "I love the lives you are great at, Victoria." Thank you, Jim. Won't shut up. One. All right. So okay, Lady Luck, our female. I don't know if Michelle is still here. Says, "My question is, why are men so prone to assuming the worst in a woman slash girl? I come from a super conservative family, and men always assume their biggest fears when there's ambiguity." Great question, Lady Luck. Great question. And can you be more specific? Like, what are they assuming? Are they like, oh, she's a slut, she'll cheat on you, she'll leave you, bro, she's for the streets, like, I knew that she was like a skank or whatever these people say. What is it, lady? Like, what are they assuming about you? But I mean, I have some thoughts on that, and I'm sure these guys can explain it as well. Now, Beardo Speak says, "I hate to brag, but I'm 5'9.5", and I was pulling girls 5'7" to 6'1". Women often said I seem tall. 100%, Beardo. Yeah, I agree with you. You do seem tall because it's like nobody can push you around kind of like verbally. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and you just kind of have that frame that's just kind of like, I'm the man, and I'm definitely not gonna take your role. So yeah, that kind of seems tall because I think people use tall women. They use tallness as kind of a proxy for masculinity. They're like, well, he might not really act masculine, but if he's tall, maybe if I like squint hard enough and like close my eyes, I can kind of just imagine him as like this alpha dom from like a romance novel. You know what I mean? So it's almost like they're projecting masculinity onto a tall guy because he like fits the template. They're like, well, he kind of looks like he might be able to be like a good warrior or like an athlete or something. So let me just kind of like pretend or wishful thinking that he's like also got these masculine attitudes. You know what I mean? But if a guy like Beardo is short and he has the masculine attitudes, it's like, I'll take this too. This is just as good, if not better. Honestly, it's better, but yeah. Tricky Beat says every man in here needs to become black pilled. I agree with you, Tricky Beats. I agree. They do. If I had a magic wand and I had 3 wishes for you guys, I would definitely use one of my wishes on making all of you guys black pilled because I think it will help you a lot. Rob Glow says black pills MGTOW. Oh, fuck no, I hope not because I really don't like MGTOW at all. But I do like the science of beauty part that the black pill is trying to help people with to make sure that by improving their looks, they can kind of hit the subconscious halo effect and improve their results. Quantum Chat says, I think you mean red pill, not black pill. Oh, definitely not. I definitely mean black pill because I'm talking about focusing on the importance of looks and how people underestimate it and how people are blind to how important it is to them and how it's so important to improve one's looks in any way you can, except, in my opinion, stop short of surgery. But there's a lot you could do without surgery. And I guess it's up to some people if they want to do surgery, but I don't like it. Shalom Source says, no, Black Pill is telling people they are fucked if they aren't hot. Well, I know that there's some channels that are doing that, but other channels are telling people, here's how you can improve. Here's what you can do. Victor Hugo says, do you think that men can put women in that trance-like state that you said that men do feel when they're looking at pretty women, which is totally fact? 100%. 100%. Men can put women in that trance-like state. Like, I don't know if Beardo Speaks is still on the live, but he could tell you. He always tells me, oh, I can tell, like, if you're horny because you go into, like, a trance-like state. And you start moving differently, and you start talking differently, and you just look differently. Yeah, it's a trance-like state for sure. And can men put women in that? Absolutely. I mean, you've heard of subspace, right? Subspace is a trance-like state. Yeah, absolutely. Lots of things guys do could put women in a trance-like state. I mean, I think that's kind of like the vortex, like what I was talking about in that video. It's a trance-like state. You kind of fall into the trance-like state. You get kind of sucked into the trance-like state, and you're kind of like, oh no, help, I'm falling into the trance-like state. Like, let me get out of it, please. And you try to like almost like throw splashing cold water on your face, like, let me get out of the trance-like state and come back to reality because I need to have my wits about me. And I'm sinking into the trance-like state. So yeah. Skylar114 says, in my opinion, women enter the trance-like state easier unless men don't expose themselves to social media and undress women. Well, like at the strip club, for example, I always saw men going into a trance-like state. Like constantly. Like every time they're in a lap dance, they're in a trance-like state. So I think, and also every time they're even looking at the strippers, they're in a trance-like state. So I feel like we're all going into the trance-like state, but what do you guys think? Nothing. Thank you so much. He says, last dono for the sesh. Got some wood to chop and need every $5 to get bats for my family survival packs. I digress. I'm 5'7.5" and I'm tall. Now, I kind of feel like this is a joke, nothing, because it's very funny because you're basically what's the word I'm looking for? Woodsman maxing. Okay. You're basically what's in Little Red Riding Hood? The woodsman, right? The wood the woodsman? Anyway, you're woodsman maxing. Because you're like, oh, you gotta get some wood to chop. You are trying to help your family survive. Yeah, you're kind of like ancient man maxing. You're survival maxing. That one's not as good. But yeah. Yeah. You want to put me in a trance? Nothing, because that will do it. So thank you so much again for your generous super chats and very funny comments. Have a wonderful rest of the sesh or night. Floyd Runner 249 says bushcraft. Exactly, bushcraft maxing. Elysia, what? Do we have another female? And forgive my use of the word female. Elysia, when I do a live, I only refer to women as females. Your advice is Apex. Love your content. Thank you so much. And if you really are a woman, please reveal your true identity. Lady Luck is still here. Lumberjack. Yes, Lady Luck. Thank you. Thank you. I knew the other woman in the chat would No, the word I'm looking for. Woodcutter. Yes, Paul. Okay. Woodcutter, lumberjack. Yes. Woodcutter maxing. Lumberjack maxing. Yes. Skylar114 says that friend lifts law and takes tea, but avoids internet girls and just pulls IRL. He literally couldn't sleep for 2 hours and became kind of insane from this pickup hot girls in bikinis I showed him. Oh no. That's that's actually funny and also scary. So yeah. Rob Glow says brawny maxing. So random stuff says, what do you think straight men can benefit from learning to do makeup? Like how those guys max out their eyebrows. I'm not 100% against it, but I think you should do everything else but, okay? Um, or keep that at the end. And if you really feel, okay, this could really improve me, why not? But I wouldn't, I would do like 15 things before that random stuff. Just because women will see it as kind of, they might see it as kind of vain or feminine if you told them. Beardo Speak says men do get into a trance, and that's how the strippers pull thousands out of them. Exactly, Beardo Speaks. Yes. If you are a stripper, you know the feeling of seeing a guy in a trance and a woman leading him to the ATM and getting him to like cash out lots of money in the ATM and then give it to her, taking him back by the hand. Yeah, they're in a trance for sure. And it's funny, like on my video, the raw attractive power or whatever, lots of guys they get really triggered by this idea of men being in a trance and they'll comment, "We men are not in a trance at a strip club. No, we barely even look at the strippers." And I've just had to be like, okay, I know you guys are in a trance, but if you want to insist you don't go in a trance, fine. So random stuff says, have you ever heard about some men self-deleting? Yes, I have, and I heard this term self-deleting on TikTok today, actually. Mm, very awful, and I have known one who did. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Why do you say that? Random stuff. So what's Lady Luck saying here? Okay. Wait. Let's see. What if Alicia revealed their identity? No. Not yet. Vera Speaks says, one of the commenters is giving me a hard time for 5'9.5". I usually say 5'9", but I wanted to be precise for my short kings out there. Vera, I love how you've embraced this term short kings. I never knew that you would like love this so much. I actually love the idea of like short kings too. And Vera Speaks says, naked, beautiful women can be very persuasive. Okay. What? Not this B irons again. You're crazy. No, B irons, you've got to be kidding me. Beardo Speaks says, not all men go into trance. Exactly, Beardo, exactly. Not all men go into trance. That's great. Beardo, by the way, where are you right now? I'm curious. So, what the hell was that? Okay. Okay. Skylar 114 says Victoria sliding into Bearda's DMs. Pretty much. Be honest, you're entertaining me, but I'm scared for you too. Random stuff says lots of young guys are single and it looks very bleak for the humanity. I think it will get worse with the internet and social media. You know more about it than me, random stuff, but yeah, I mean, I I trust me, I see them every day on my channel commenting about how bleak it looks, so I know they trust me. Random stuff. I see a lot of it myself, but yeah. And honestly, it's very bleak to read. I'm just like I hope that guy gets help, basically. Probably won't though, right? Vero Speaks says, still playing poker, but I missed you too much, up 2K. Good job, Pierno. Very good. So, guys, I think it's be good for a quiz, right? I took a screenshot for you guys. Oh, damn it. Not again. Ah! I had it all ready, but my phone is dead, so. Okay. Vero Speaks says, pick me, Victoria. Please pick me. Okay, Vero, what do you want to say? What do you want to say? You raised your hand, and now you can tell me. What is your question? All right. Updated for life says, Victoria, how can we gain more self confidence? Okay, updated for life. Like, it's so vague, it's so general, right? Like, what's a situation where you're feeling like, I am not self confident enough? Like, where are you? What time of day is it? What are you doing? What are you wearing? Like, and you're having this thought, I need more self confidence or this is going to fail massively. Okay. Josh. the manga lad says, advice for the first time being intimate with a woman. Okay, Josh the manga lad. So will it be her first time too, or is it just your first time but she's more experienced? Um, cause I mean, I've been like just watching and like reading so much stuff about like how to be good in bed and how to be like so I've been learning a lot myself too, and there's just so much good advice out there, like for foreplay and just like how to basically best pleasure her. Like honestly, this course I've been talking about lately, Can Play Beyond Satisfied, is really good. And I really need to read his book because I'm like, this could be a much cheaper option that I could recommend to people. But I mean, I would like read some books about it. Okay, but like I guess my personal tip is check out this book, Beyond Satisfied. Honestly, check out this book I just read. I actually thought it was really good and it gave very good advice for foreplay. Mars and Venus in the Bedroom, by John Gray, the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. But the foreplay advice he was giving in that book, I'm like, you said it very simply, and all guys need to know this. So I'm gonna add that to my book recommendations list. Even though there's a lot of kind of crazy stuff in that book, the foreplay advice in that book is fucking like spot on. So yeah, those are two, really, really good books in my opinion for foreplay. Also, there's another book in my book recommendations, which I think that um would be helpful for a guy who basically it's like his first time. The book Best She Ever Had. It's kind of just like basic, simple stuff, but it's so basic and so simple that it's really important. And it's just like really good kind of mental frames for how like attractive behaviors. Everything he said in that book, I'm like, yep, 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 yep. Like there's almost nothing in that book I disagreed with. So that's a really good book too. That will just kind of give you like, okay, got my head on straight. This is kind of all I need to know to have like the appropriate behavior and attitude. Well, not the appropriate behavior, but the appropriate attitude. It's a very good book as well. So those books are all really good. Um, but good first time advice, in my opinion, is just basically work her up like a lot. Like really like spend a lot of time making out and kind of just have like a slow passionate thing and not don't just try to like stick it in because like you're so excited like um I mean but it kind of depends with but I mean yeah I mean basically any woman would like a long almost anyone would like taking your time, make out, kissing on all parts of her body, caressing. Like I always say, you got to go around the non-erogenous zones and just work up to the erogenous zone. That's what John Gray talks about so well in his book, Mars and Venus in the Bedroom. But yeah, I mean, this could be an amazing experience, especially if you go in with some of the typical blind spots, like handled. Because most guys, they got the blind spots of women will enjoy sex exactly the way I'll enjoy sex. I like having my dick like grabbed, so women will like having their breasts grabbed like really hard. I like when a woman cuts right to the chase and like starts sucking my dick. So a woman will like if I just go right to the chase and start squeezing like the most sensitive parts of her body when it's actually the reverse. Like, she needs some time to build up to it, to warm up and to just embrace and experience everything that's happening. So there's a bunch of different blind spots which guys have, which are kind of like leading them wrong, leading them astray, making them assume, oh, I got it right. Another big one is just penetration. Like, oh, well, it's like all about the penetration. No, no, like they don't know where the clit is. They don't know how important touching the clit is, touching like the vulva and everything like that. So these are really basic things that a lot of guys would just go, I like penetration, she likes penetration. And they're not realizing, mm, that's not going to make it good for her. If you just go right in, right away, you grab all her erogenous zones right away. You just stick it in, you come quickly, and you assume that she had an orgasm too. That's one way to be terrible in bed. But yeah, so these books will give you a really good handle on that. Beardo Speaks says, someone was saying, stop being a pick me, Beardo. Nothing wrong with being a pick me with the one. Beardo, thank you. I agree. I want you to be a pick me. Okay, so anyway, guys, I should probably go, but this is really fun. So Jim Won't Shut Up One says, what book is it, Victoria? Title? Okay, so the 3 books I recommended was 1, Best She Ever Had. And if you go in any of my videos and you look in the description box, I have like a link to my Amazon store, okay? And those are just books that I actually recommend that I think like every guy should read this. So this book, Best She Ever Had, is in that store. The next book I was recommending was Mars and Venus in the Bedroom by John Gray. I have not put that book in the store because I only read it 2 days ago. But I like it and I'm going to put it in the store. And then my third one I recommended, I really shouldn't be recommending this one because I haven't read it yet, but I am taking a course by the author. So I thought I have the book, I just haven't read it because I'm watching his course. But if his book is anything like his course, it's going to be very good information. And that's called Beyond Satisfied by Kenneth Play, who's like a sex expert. Supposedly, he's like the world's leading sex expert. And he definitely knows what he's talking about, for sure. Because he's demonstrating it all in the videos. And I'm like, mm-hmm. Yeah. Shrine of Dogs says, thank you for the live. That's so nice, Shrine of Dogs. Thank you for saying thank you for the live. Shalom Source says, reading books ain't going to help you. Well, I mean, I disagree, but I agree. I mean, probably in person, like practical stuff would be best. Like if you had a coach hovering over your shoulder or videotaping everything you do and then giving you direct feedback, for sure. That's better than reading a book. At the same time, let's not knock reading someone's like life experience and work all condensed down into, the most important facts. It can help for sure. Kingpin 119 said, hey, your videos have been eye-opening. I'd love to read it. Thank you, Kingpin 119. Thank you. Tricky B says, just read books, bro. Then you'll get all the girls, bro. Well, I don't think I said that, Tricky Beats. So I don't know why you're saying that. Lady Luck. Bye, Victoria. Hopefully see you in the next live. Thank you so much for hanging out, Lady Luck. And thank you for your great participation, great questions, and just your presence, the feminine presence. Wonderful. Goodbye, Lady Luck. And if you ever want to email me, mynonlinearlife@gmail.com. I'd be curious to hear any of your thoughts. Shalom Sources. There's trolls in here, and it's funny as fuck. I agree, Shalom Source. It's entertaining me, and luckily they're not being rude to me and trolling me. They're just being bizarre, weird, wacky, entertaining, and humorous. So Jim Won't Shut Up says, books and videos have helped me tons. Exactly, Jim Won't Shut Up. Books and videos have helped me tons too. I mean, let's be real. Like, where would we all be without books and videos? Like, we are so lucky because we have books and videos. But honestly, one-on-one coaching, that's next level, right? But even so, then you're kind of like in this one-on-one relationship with a coach, whereas with books and videos, you could get like 100 coaches basically, but you don't get that personalized feedback. So, but yeah. Skylar114 says, anything for DDLG? Yes, Skylar114. Okay. And it's not a book or a video. Well, it kind of is a video. Check out this YouTube channel. Okay. And those who are smart, and there's one guy I'm thinking of in particular for my lives. He's a very, very studious student of my lives. He checked out this channel, which I'm about to recommend to you, and he changed his game, okay? And he started DDLGing a girl, and she started eating it up. So let's recommend it. I'm going to type it in the chat, and you guys might be kind of like shocked and horrified at first, but if you study this, you will start learning the female gaze and incorporating DLG. Okay? So this guy who I'm mentioning, he says that he like has listened to basically every single video of this guy. And at first he was like cringing so hard. He was like, oh God, no, please don't let anyone know that I'm listening to this, right? But suddenly he started trying to like be like this guy, but in his own oh, he's here. I'm not going to tell you who he is, but yes, I'm referencing him. Okay, he could probably tell you the story better himself, but yes, I'm referencing exactly what you told me. Dot 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 dot. So anyway, I'm recommending it to you guys again. And if anyone in the chat, I don't want to name names, has any experience with this channel and they want to share their experience, let me know. Okay. And guess what? We got another expert on DDLG in the chat, and that's none other than Beardo Speaks. So Beardo Speaks, what are your top tips on DDLG? We do have a video about DDLG. We could have gone into far more detail. I had to actually train, well, actually, no, I didn't really train in DDLG, did you? Just started doing it on your own one day, like spontaneously. It came out of you, and then I had such an insane reaction. You were like, "Oh, you like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I like it." And then you just built upon it. But did I like train you at all in DDLG, or did you just like kind of naturally have that and come up with it yourself? Let me ask you, Beardo. Lady Luck says, "Are you talking about who I think?" Oh, Lady Luck, do you know this person? Are you a fan? And is there anyone else that you like, Lady Luck? Any kind of erotic audio creators that maybe you think would be helpful for guys to learn from? Like, do you, first of all, do you like DDLG? Do you like Daddy Dom? What's a creator who you think is sexy that guys could learn from? If you have any offhand. If you don't, that's totally fine too. So 92 says you can share the story. For some reason, I can't super chat. Well, I don't know if you came on before it because I was kind of sharing the story, Nani, about boyfriend audio. Now you're like listening to it. So yeah, but like, I mean, like, when you started trying to DDLG, how did it go? Like, share with the class. Did it work? Did the girl respond well? Did she change how she was responding? Let me know. Skylar114 says, lol, you guys did a one-on-one DDLG practicum. Yeah, pretty much. So, Ddlg says, have you ever heard of Dr. Ruth from the 1980s? She gave lots of mainstream good sex advice, but was she really any good? Is she relevant these days? You know, that's a really cool point, Dave. I've heard of like growing up, I always heard of Dr. Ruth, right? But I've never read anything she did. Like she was so famous when I was growing up, like Dr. Ruth Schlesinger, right? But I want to read something she wrote because that's kind of what I was doing with Mars and Venus. I'm like, everybody knows I'm talking about the male gaze, female gaze. This guy was the original male gaze, female gaze, right? I got to see what he says about the male gaze and the female gaze. I got to read like Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and Mars and Venus in the Bedroom, and all those other books, right? And it's very entertaining, very good, but he doesn't, in my opinion, explain it on a deep level. Like John Gray, he doesn't. He just basically says, this is how men are, this is how women are, and if you want to know why, they're from Mars and they're from Venus. So it doesn't go into the deepest possible level or anything, but me knowing more of the deeper levels, in my opinion, it's very entertaining and very fun and actually very illuminating to read. But for me, like I have to kind of understand it almost from first principles, or I'm just still going to be endlessly obsessing over it. So Shrine of Dogs and Dave says, what's DDLG? Daddy Dom, little girl. Okay, it's a very kinky thing. It's kind of like soft dominance, gentle dominance, daddy Dom. But in the kink community, it's like DD/LG, daddy Dom slash little girl. Or you have mommy Dom slash little boy. Okay, that's kind of the more controversial name for it, right? But it was kind of catchy. But yeah, daddy Dom. So Nani shares his experience when he first went to DDLG after watching, it seems like hours and listening to hours of boyfriend audio. And then he kind of just started like almost like allowing the spirit of boyfriend audio to move through him. And he says, when he tried it on a girl, he says, it went well. I was drunk and sent the voice messages. I thought she was going to block me. I was saying stuff, but not too overt. And I listened to these voice messages. They were very good. And the girl was just like, honestly, it seemed like she was loving it. She was just kind of like, oh my gosh, Nani, you're so drunk. Stop, basically. Seemed like she was eating it up. And trust me, he didn't get blocked. So, if anything, it worked. Uh-oh. Beardo says something and then... Oh, Beardo Speaks says, you expressed an interest in DDLG and I took it from there. And then Lucky, Lady Luck. What did she say? Where did she say? She said, what? Lady Luck says, didn't know what DDLG was until like 5 minutes ago, but yes, it's amazing. What? So how did you just figure it out? Did you go to Boyfriend Audio or what? Lady Luck, this is incredible. And then she says, trying to find your other comment. Beardo says, I took it from there. Take notes, guys. Yep, I took it from there. Yep, Lady Luck, I know what you mean. Yep. We know. We know the female gaze, don't we, Lady Luck? So, yeah, Beardo, but... Dude, I didn't actually express the interest in DDLG. You Well, oh, okay, we kind of argue about this because I know what you're going to say, but in my opinion, you just started DDLGing me, and then I started blushing so hard, and then I told you later, I'm like, you're like, do you like that? And I'm like, I don't know why. It's weird, but that just touched a place like very, very, very deep inside me. I don't even understand myself why that works so well. But trust me, that was like a bizarre reaction coming out of me. So yeah. Lady Luck says, I've experienced it without knowing what it was called. Oh my gosh, Lady Luck. I love that. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like that's why so many of these female fantasies and kinks, I feel really bad for women because it's like we don't know the names, but it's like there are names for these things and the kink community has them. But everyone thinks, "Oh, that's weird. That's whips and chains." I don't like no whips and chains, right? Like that song, "I'm Vanilla Baby," right? With Jack Harlow, who's like a freaking amazing dom. Yeah, he's saying, "Oh, I don't like kink. I'm vanilla, baby," right? Yeah. Sure, Jack Harlow. But anyway, yeah, it's interesting. You say, I've experienced it without knowing what it was called. Yeah. And that's like with my BFF. Okay. Like, I think she really likes DDLG, but she has no idea that she likes it. But I'm like, everything in your life tells me that you're going to like it. Like, everything. But her boyfriend is, sorry, husband is just like the opposite of DDLG. Okay. He's just like typical male gaze, like sexual type, like just freaking be a sexually aggressive woman and make me feel desirable, please. And act like a girl in porn, basically. So she's not getting her DDLG fantasy, that's for sure. But if she did, I'm like, she'd go crazy for it, in my opinion. So Nani says, Vic, I like my new training partner. She's so cool and dangerous. We were both in our own little world in the gym, making people turn their heads at us. Yeah. And I saw that on your story, okay? It was crazy. And I feel like the feeling is mutual. So what's your next move, Nani? Or just gonna play cool? What are you gonna do? Because you guys have like insane chemistry. And have you heard the term alpha submissive, Nani? Because I'm just gonna make a sort of like a prediction that a girl who likes to fight and a girl who's into fighting like you, I would bet money that she is an alpha submissive. Lady Luck says, but yeah, DDLG is crazy powerful. It can disarm even the most guarded women. The first time I experienced it, I was like, what the fuck? I felt like a deer in headlights. Lady Luck, that's fascinating. That's actually kind of how I felt too. Like, I just felt like paralyzed on a spot or something. So, wow, it's really interesting to hear your experience. Uh-oh. Beardo is trying to DDLG me in the chat. He's giving you guys a live demonstration. Okay? So, maybe you can see the effect. All right? He got me. Good job, Beardo. Very good. Always one step, always trying to be one step ahead of me. Sometimes succeeding. So, Beardo says, well, I'm not even going to read that, Beardo, because I don't like what you said. So, yep. Listen to what Lady Luck said. And if you want to pick up my body language, that's on you. I'm not saying nothing. Nani says, alpha submissive. Heard of that term? Yes. The word reminds me of that movie 365 Days. 100%. Yep. She is an alpha submissive. Very, very great point. And when you read the book, I'm actually not I didn't finish the book. I really need to get back to it, but I was reading like I was at least 30% into that book, if not more. And she makes a whole big show about how she's an alpha submissive. Yep. How she's so strong, so independent, so take charge, so good at business, so good at work, so feisty. Yep. Very common in romance novels. Alpha submissives for sure. David T says, because I don't like what you said, lol. Somebody's getting punished there. Well, the thing you don't know about me and Beardo's relationship is he doesn't punish me like that. We kind of just spar. I'd say he's more like a. Would you say you're a brat tamer, Beardo? That's kind of how I think you are. But so Lady Luck says, what is an alpha submissive? So an alpha submissive is somebody who doesn't like to be submissive unless it's earned, unless it's proved, and unless it's kind of like forcibly wrested from them, and then they love it. So that's kind of different than a girl who might just want to be like submissive from the start. It almost is like a crossover with like being a brat, right? Because they want to push back, they want to challenge, they want a guy who's super strong. They don't want to be submissive from the start. They only want to be submissive if it's earned and won. Like if there's a challenge and the guy wins, then they believe, okay, he deserves my submission. So that's kind of like alpha submissive, in my opinion. So Beardo Speaks says, one of the haters says I can't pass your shit test. Beardo's very good at passing the shit test. I've always said this. You're very good at that. Like you've always been good with the comebacks. So it's one of your specialties, in my opinion. But like David, what would you say is a shit test that I gave you, and how did you respond? Because I don't even think I give you shit tests. Rarely, very rarely. So Jim won't shut up once, says Victoria. I love flirting by telling a woman that if she isn't good, I'll have to spank her in a fun, flirty way, but it creates DDLG and Dom and sexiness and fun all at once. Works like a charm. Yep. Jim won't shut up. Let's just say I can see why it would work. And yes, I agree. It will create DDLG, Dom, sexiness, done in the right way, of course, which I'm sure you do, but I have to say that just because some people, like on my channel or whatever, they'll comment like, Victoria, like, I will spank you. And I'm like, not to a stranger, bro, but to a woman you're on a date with when the chemistry is going, for sure. Okay, Lady Luck says, lol, that's me. Haha. Exactly, Lady Luck. Exactly. And this is actually a really important point because that's a lot of girls. And guys don't want, a lot of them, they don't want to compete. They don't. And they don't like this idea at all. Trust me, I know because I've talked about this on my channel. So I get all the comments talking about like, we men do not want to do this. There's no part of me that wants to do this. I want the green lights and I want to keep my dignity and walk away. I want a virgin. I don't want to have to compete. I don't want to have to figure this woman out. I don't want to have to pass her shit tests. I don't have to fight. I just want her to be my male gaze fantasy right from the start. Okay, so I try to tell him, Lady Luck, I try to tell him, good luck with that. That's not the female gaze. But yeah, so yes, that guys, the fact that Lady Luck is saying that's me and I'm saying that's me should say something. Okay, that's the female gaze. Hey, the freak. Welcome. Just popping in to say, hey, yo, just saying hello. Hello, the freak. Nice to see you. Some Beardo Speaks says, shit test is not my term. Have someone else define it. All right, guys, what is a shit test? What is a shit test to you? And then Beardo Speaks will tell you how to pass them. David T is asking Beardo Speaks, how do you laugh off everything if you don't use fun punishments like spanking and sending her to the corner for timeouts to enforce daddy's rules? Okay. No. He laughs off everything, yeah. We just joke around. We just laugh a lot. Jim won't shut up once says, you have to smile, and yes, good chemistry and good vibe, Victoria. All valid points you made. Yep, Jim, we're in agreement on that one. But yeah. It plays on something sexy, for sure. Maui Logic says, the great Zambier. I love it. Wow, Paul. So he said, the gym I belong to forbade any man approaching a woman in the gym. If you did, you'd lose your membership. And at work, we're expressly forbidden from fraternizing with fellow employees or clients. Wow, Paul. That's interesting. That's intense. I could see why that would kind of be appealing to women. But yeah, where are you going to meet women? They're ruling out two big areas for sure. Skylar114 says, so you know you're a brat, Victoria. Well, to be honest, I'm not really like a brat. Like, I don't really like identify as a brat. Like, I kind of enjoy pushing back, but I think I'm more like the alpha submissive than a brat. But I definitely enjoy a little bit of that. So, Alien Traveler says an example of a shit test. Would you still love me if I was a worm? Yeah, that was going viral on TikTok. Girls were asking their boyfriends, "Would you still love me if I was a worm?" and everything. Yep. Yeah, that's a good example, Alien Traveler, for sure. The Midnight Spirit says, a shit test is a test from a woman to see if he is a good fit for her. Hmm. I like that. I definitely do that to Beardo, in my opinion. Shalom. Okay. David T says, a shit test is when a woman challenges your dominant self image. I like that too. Yeah, that's good. Shrine of Dog says, my ex gal used to make me do all this kinky stuff all the time. Didn't think much of it, just did it. Looking back, it's kind of traumatizing, to be honest. Really, Shrine of Dogs, like, tell us if you want to. I don't want to re traumatize you, but I'm curious, like, what was traumatizing about it? What the hell? Maui Long, you're making me laugh. So, Kingpin 119 says, how do I stop my defeatist mindset and stop blaming my height? I don't know if you came in, but we did a lot of height discussion in the beginning of this live, and then people were telling me, stop talking about height, please. Can we move on? And we might trigger some people who may or may not be in the chat, but we did kind of talk a lot about it in case you want to rewatch it if I post it. And anyway. Nani says, I feel like I want an orange. Another example of a shit test. That's another great example. A viral TikTok that's been going around where girls say, can you peel, like they asked their boyfriend, like, um, I want an orange, but I don't want to peel it. Can you peel this orange for me? And then they see how their boyfriend responds. So, yeah, Beardo, what do you think? Like, as a girl, the shit test is it feels really good. It's actually like a big turn on. Because if the guy passes your shit test, it's a huge turn on. It's like you present him with a riddle, and if he solves your riddle in a way that you're impressed by, you're just like, you have achieved you know, it's like you just kind of you the respect, the attraction for him increases for sure. I mean, I do that sometimes with Beardo a lot. Like I'll just kind of I used to do it more in the beginning. Like I would just kind of try to purposely challenge him because I wanted to see him all riled up and I want to provoke him and I wanted to get some like masculinity out of him. And I just wanted to feel it. I wanted to see it. I wanted to make sure it was there and make sure he could kind of like summon it on command. So I would kind of just poke little just to see. And when he like did it, I would be like, this feels really good. I like this. I love seeing it. So yeah, there's obviously, I guess, different kinds of these shit tests, but for a woman, it feels really good. David T says, you said that a man passing your shit test is like when a man sees a topless woman. That's a good analogy I never heard before. Probably. I don't know what a man sees when he sees a topless woman. Okay, because I've seen like a million topless women before. And I'm just like, wonderful for you. Very nice. So yeah, but I can kind of sense that it'd probably be very similar. Um, well, guys, I'm getting pretty tired, and I've been on here for like super long time, so I will leave. I will bid you adieu because I just want to say, guys, please, guys, please accept my humblest thanks for supporting me on this channel. Like, I mean, there's so much I could say about it, but the channel has been extremely healing for me in like a million ways. Okay. I've loved meeting you guys. I've made like some really amazing friends, like friends that honestly, I never met anyone like you guys. Okay. And I've made some incredible friends who I just feel, oh, this is just such a great person. No, we have so much in common. We could talk about this stuff for hours. You're teaching me so much. Um, Even my haters, even the people who insult me, who troll me, honestly, although you put me through a lot of pain, you made me stronger too. I can never forget that. Like, honestly, because I honestly didn't have a thick skin when I started this at all. Okay. Beardo can tell you, I was crying. I was just like in pain basically every day. And now I just feel like, you guys want to insult me? Okay. Is it going to be this one, 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 this one? This one? I got like 100 typical insults at the ready. I heard them all before. I don't even care. Barely. So anyway, you guys are amazing. I love coming on these lives. I love just reading your thoughts, reading your situations, reading your questions, getting to like know some of the same people. And I love when I can meet you guys in consultations, honestly, because then I get to like put the name to a face and I get to kind of like we could email or whatever back and forth. I get to know you guys better. But Vero Speaks says, believe me, when she's being bratty, there is punishment. You're funny, Vero. So, anyway, guys. Yeah. Nani says, Vic, you're the most confident, articulate, and dangerous woman. Thanks for everything. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much, Nani. Thank you. Thank you. You're one of those people I'm talking about. And yeah, just shout out to Beardo, my boyfriend, my inspiration. And goodbye, everybody. Love you guys. All right. Bye, everyone. Oh, and I forgot to mention $60 consultations. Anyone want a $60 consultation? Because I'm selling them. So if you want one, just email me at the following email address. And I'll type it in the chat below. And you just email me and I'll send you my scheduling link. We can set it up and we can get into detail on your situation. We can talk about a lot of stuff. Anything you want. We can talk about the sex tips. We can talk about the dominant stuff. We can get Beardo on perhaps. So anyway, but for Beardo, we actually charge $100. But sometimes if he has time, I'll again do a voice note for you guys, and that's still only $60. So, all right, guys. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Thanks again.